Good morning, everyone. Ron Bullis, the CEO and co-founder of Lifeworks Advisors here. Happy Friday to you. Really excited for today's presentation. It's going to be a little bit of a unique one in that it's not a teaching or an educational webinar. It's not a market update, so there's not going to be any slides in this one about unemployment or debt or what's happening in the market. But we just thought it was important to take time out of our crazy busy schedule here and share with you guys, our clients, some of the things that our team's working on that you don't get to maybe see every day. And some of the stuff that's coming in 2021 that we're really, really excited about. Couldn't be more proud of the things that our team is working on and building. So today's live event is going to be focusing in on the future of advice and what's coming down the road with Lifeworks Advisors. So if you've been a client for a little while, one of the things you might start seeing is you're going to start seeing a little bit of a change in our brand, a little bit of a change in our logo colors and some imagery. We added some really great people to our team in the last couple months whose background is in creative design and art direction and video, and I'll talk about them more. So as we get kicked off here this morning, sit back, relax, grab your beverage of choice, and just really excited to get to share with you what we're working on here at Lifeworks for you, our clients' benefit, and then the advisors who we also serve as well. All right, so I want to just take a quick rewind and recap of 2020, some of the highlights for us at the firm level. I mean, 2020 was a year that nobody could have seen coming in terms of the COVID pandemic, the lockdowns, the disruption in the industry. And in a lot of ways, it's really good to have that experience as a young firm. So Lifeworks Advisors is about 3.5 years old now. Myself and Kurt Van Dyke and the other founder, we've been in the financial advising space now for 14, going on 15 years. But why I think 2020 was a really good year is it tested out in real time some of the things that Lifeworks built specifically for our clients, like our investment strategies. It tested out our ability and resiliency to handle both for our clients and for us as a firm, having to work from home, having to engage digitally. And while not all of 2020 was a bright spot, some of the silver lining pieces that we are reflecting back on and looking at and saying, what are some of the things we're taking out of this as good things? One of them is just this, right? We had on our roadmap for the last 2 years to start running more frequent client events, client webinars, educational events. And with everybody being locked down and at home, working from home, et cetera, it really forced us to kind of step up our game and get really good at this. So that's something from 2020. So what are some of the big things that happened? Well, these aren't chronologically here, but as I was making the list and kind of preparing the presentation, these were some of the ones that came to the top of my mind. Lifeworks, at the end of 2019, submitted an application to a program called Scratch.works. So if you go to Scratch.works, you can check it out, but it's a financial technology accelerator program and competition. So for the last 18 months, almost 2 years now, we here at Lifeworks have been building and investing in creating our own client experience software and technology to run our firm. As we were doing that, some people encouraged us to share what we were doing with the rest of the industry and to submit an application to this financial technology competition, which we did in November of 2019. Didn't hear anything after we submitted, and like a day before Christmas, we got a phone call and we were told that we were a finalist in the Scratchworks program. We were chosen out of maybe 70 other applicants, and they picked 3 of us, Lifeworks and 2 other firms. Really, really awesome moment to validate what we've been working on, what our vision for the future is. And then we got to share that vision with hundreds and thousands of other people in the industry, right? Some of the CEOs and leaders of the largest firms in the industry, and then other financial advisors. So if you haven't had a chance, we have the videos on our website. Could be fun to go back and look at that. It was kind of set up like a Shark Tank style type of pitch. But anyway, the Scratchworks program, we were a finalist, and then through that we also secured a large capital investment from one of the industry's largest firms, and the CEO of that, Marty Bicknell, who runs Mariner Wealth Advisors out of Kansas City. And he said something really important, and we picked up on this, and actually you'll see it in our logos and our tagline for the company. When I asked him in our video podcast, what attracted you to Lifeworks and what are you most excited about what we're doing? He said, I believe you guys are trying to build the future of advice, the future of financial advising for your clients, and I love that. And he actually, in that, kind of off-the-cuff comment, encapsulated what Kurt and I's vision has been for Lifeworks since the day we created the firm, right? Which is, how do we do things better for our clients? And what do we need to be building and thinking about and working towards so that we can continue to be relevant and valuable for you, our clients, and then the advisors and team members here at Lifeworks. So the Scratchworks thing was a big deal, a little bit of a roller coaster. The event was supposed to be a live event in March of 2020. And for all of us, right, March of 2020 was when Michigan went into a lockdown. I got a phone call from Barron's, which was hosting the event, saying they had canceled the event. And so initially we started with this high of kind of winning this competition, and then the competition was canceled, or at least the presentation was canceled. And then as we worked through the summer, they eventually, did it as a digital event, and we secured funding through it. So it was an interesting up and down, but definitely something that I'm proud about for our company, for our team. There was a lot of effort and time that went into it. We also launched our first version of the Lifeworks software platform. So for those of you that are clients, you've seen this now, you've started using it for, onboarding, entering your information, paying your financial planning fee, checking the balances in your investment accounts. And I'm going to talk in this presentation towards the end about a lot of what the software team is working on that's coming in the next couple of months and throughout the rest of this year. But that was a big moment for us to take something we had been working on for about a year at that point in time, year and a half, and actually start using it. And so we appreciate everybody's patience. The things that we envision our software platform being able to do and that are actually in testing right now, we're just going to continue to make this a more valuable and more seamless experience for you, our clients, and give us as a firm the ability to spend less time doing administrative stuff, because we're building in a lot of automation, which gives us more ability to spend time doing what we should be doing, which is managing your assets and helping you make wise decisions with your money. We also crossed the threshold and became an SEC registered firm. So for all registered investment advisors, when they start, if they start like what Kurt and I did with 0 assets under management and then grow, the first kind of structure that you are is you're a state registered advisor. And so as we were growing, we had to register in every state that we had clients in. Thankfully, Kurt, my business partner, drew the short straw, and he's our chief compliance officer, so he actually had to deal with all of those registrations. But when we crossed the $100 million of assets under management, which was about 3/4 of the way through last year, then we were able to register with the SEC, which allows us to operate nationally in a much more efficient manner. So that's a big deal for us. Maybe not so much for you at the client level, but that was a big milestone and marker for us. We also launched thefutureofadvice.com for financial advisors. So part of our business model and where we're going, our vision for the future, is to offer our platform, our structure, and our team, and the things that we've been doing for our clients that are innovative and unique to other financial advisors around the country, which is just going to help us grow and be a stronger firm overall. And we also kicked off our new video podcast series called The Future of Advice. This is just the short list. Going to the next slide here, I've talked about this just very briefly, but we can start talking about it in a more official capacity. At the end of 2020, Lifeworks acquired a company called Aimvest Technologies. This was founded by 2 young guys from MIT. They hold masters in finance from MIT, really brilliant guys, and they had spent their time during their studies at MIT and before that at some large firms on Wall Street, so like Morgan Stanley, Lazard, Rothschild. Hugo had spent some time working in hedge funds and what we call quant shops, doing some really interesting stuff on the technology side. But we made this acquisition for a couple of really, really important reasons. One, these 2 guys in their studies at MIT realized through one of their professors, whose name is Robert Merton, that the industry's traditional way of building investment portfolios and strategies for clients was fundamentally flawed. Okay? So by fundamentally flawed, the average advisor in the average firm makes their clients do something called a risk tolerance questionnaire or a risk assessment or something like this. And essentially when we boil it down, it's a series of questions. And at the end result of it, the answer is you're a balanced investor, a conservative investor, or something like this. Or they also have ones now that score it, right? So you answer some questions and it's like I'm a risk score 70 or something like this. What happens there is it's a backwards and flawed process because it's looking at how somebody feels at that moment in time about risk, and that feeling could change every day. It also doesn't answer the question of like what needs to happen. So a couple years ago, Lifeworks ditched risk tolerance questionnaires, risk scoring systems, and we built out a different way of coming to constructing investment portfolios for our clients. So we were already doing this. When I met these guys halfway through last year and started talking to them about what they were building and what their software looked like, we realized we were trying to accomplish the same thing, but from two different positions. They were building out software and technology to automate the creation of portfolios and then manage those portfolios for very specific targets and limiting downside risk for clients. We were doing it in a bit more of a manual process, right? So our acquisition of Aimvest and their technology gives us the ability to continue down this path of what we believe is the right way to build investment strategies for our clients, which is based off of your unique goals and objectives and based off of your financial plan. So all of the investment strategies and the work that we're doing is to say an investment strategy should be developed to support a person's cash flow needs and their future goals and how they want to live. Not some reductive, well, you're a balanced investor, or you should be aggressive because you're young, or you're a risk score here, or even, well, just buy this target date retirement fund and let it kind of do its thing over time. We think that's a flawed approach. So I'll talk a little bit more about their technology later, but we've officially closed on that transaction. Alex is now the VP of Investment Strategy here at Lifeworks, so he's in charge of leading some of our conversations about how we're approaching our investment strategies in the market, working alongside of Derek Vermeulen, our Chief Investment Officer. And then Hugo Castellan, his role is our Chief Data Scientist. So imagine, having a pipeline that's pushing in all the data from the markets in real time. He's building the software and managing how we are taking in that data and using it to, alongside of our investment strategies, to build portfolios, to inform our decisions, and do that in a very robust way. All right, the Future of Advice podcast. I'm going through these things really fast. If you have a question, you want me to slow down on something, go ahead and throw it up. I can see it on the screen here. I'll try and answer it live, and if I miss it now, I'll pick it back up at the end. So I'm just going to go through some of the things that we've gotten done in 2020 and some of these things. So another big one, we launched the Future of Advice video podcast series. This will sit alongside of some of the other initiatives that we have, which I'll show on the next slide. But what's the future of advice? Well, we thought it was very important to go out there to industry leaders, so CEOs, owners of large firms, the head of large custodians, and ask a very important question, which is, what does the wealth management industry need to look like in 5 years and 10 years for advisors and firms to be relevant and still serving their clients well? And the idea is to shift the conversation from talking about like what's worked in the past to what are the things we have to be doing. And so far, myself and my team have gotten to do maybe a dozen of these interviews. We'll be releasing maybe one every week to 2 weeks here as they get done in production and editing. But they're fascinating conversations with leaders in our industry, which actually helps us think about what we're doing and how we should be navigating and making changes from some of the best and the brightest in the industry. So that's just an absolute privilege to get to do that. And even if you're looking at that and thinking, well, that's just for advisors, I'd say go and watch one or two of them. You might find the videos and the questions and the answers that coming out to be pretty insightful about what's coming down the road in our industry in terms of technology, in terms of fee structures, in terms of investment strategies. There's people speaking into all of those things. Another thing that will be shifting, some of you guys are already interacting with this, we have created the Lifeworks YouTube channel or YouTube page, where we'll have all of our Future of Advice podcasts, we'll have our market updates, we'll have educational webinars, and they'll be set up as series, right? So you can get in there and watch a series and then engage with it. So as we continue to do new content and live events about once a week, those are going to get added to our YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, I would go there and subscribe to it, and then you'll be notified of new videos, new events as they're coming out as well. All right, so we started 2020. This is what our leadership team looked like. There was myself, Kurt Van Dyken, both of us were the original founders. Derek Vermeulen, who's our Chief Investment Officer, he's a partner in the firm as well. And then Henry Morley, who's our Director of Strategic Partnerships. This is where we started the year. Part of our growth strategy was acquiring, and not acquiring, but in securing the funding through that Scratchworks program was to give us the ability to bring in some more talent to prepare us for the future growth. And this is what our leadership team looks like today. We added a couple more key people to that. So Rob Allen is our Chief Technology Officer. He oversees all of our software development team and the development of our platform. And then Dan Case, who is our Creative Director. I have a slide with their bios on it. I'll just hit a couple of the high points here. Rob's background has always been in coding. He was the president of the hackathon, went to U of M, insanely bright young guy. And what he's doing with our team is fantastic. Dan has a significant amount of experience in the creative agency space. He worked for several large agencies as an art director, creative director, teaches advertising and design at Western Michigan University still. So as you're looking at like our slide decks, our logos, our software, it's really, really, I'm really proud of what they've already done. And all the stuff you see now is created in-house by our design team, right? Even this live stream here that you see is, put together, by the creative team and Skylar Mills, our Director of Business Development, who's also sitting right to my right here and running our video productions and stuff like that. So just really cool stuff going on here. Their bios are on our website. If you want to know more about them, check it out. The team also grew exponentially. So we started the year with 6 additional people on the team, 6 people on a team, and not including those in the leadership team. 3 additional lead advisors, Brad and Brett, who most of your clients have interacted with on the investment side, and then Skylar. And then at the end of the year, we went on a significant hiring spree, and we added some really key people to the team, mostly on the investment strategy side, and then on the technology and software design side as well. So Lifeworks is now 19 strong. We started the year at 11. So not only do we almost double our team size, we also doubled the size of the firm in terms of revenue and clients. In the midst of the COVID pandemic and kind of all that uncertainty there. So the team here is just absolutely doing an awesome job, and I couldn't be more proud of what everybody's accomplishing here. All right, so I wanted to share this here real quick. Again, we'll be sending the slides out after this presentation, so I'm not going to read all of them, but as Lifeworks is growing and maturing and changing a little bit of our business plan and who we are, we're keeping our values core and consistent, right? So our commitment to teamwork, right? If you're a client of ours now, you know that we operate as a team. You know that you might talk to your advisor, maybe that's Trevor, and then Kurt might be on a strategy call, and then you're dealing with Brad on the portfolio. We always operate as a team because we have a fundamental belief that we'd rather have superstar teams than superstar individuals. And we believe that a well-run team that's cohesive, that has shared values and vision is always going to do more for our clients and serve them better than any one individual possibly could. A couple other ones that I think are important in this that are my favorite is courage and stewardship. So some of the things that we're doing in terms of like getting rid of risk tolerance questionnaires, building software that we believe is going to make a better experience for you, our client, takes a little bit of moxie, takes some courage. And the stewardship side, which has been a core value of Kurt and I since we started the firm, right? How do we leave everything better than what we touched it to begin with, right? How do we make wise decisions and help you, our clients, make wise decisions with your family assets, your financial resources, how you want to live your life? Just know, as we change brands a little bit and as we modernize and have some really beautiful designs and software that's coming out, know that the core values of our team aren't changing, right? In fact, if you've gotten to be in the office or interact with us, I hope you pick up on the sense that we have a really, really unique culture that I would say is one of our keys to success, and it's driven by our commitment to our shared values. But one of the evolutions that I will point out is our mission statement, right? A mission statement originally was to, give our clients clarity and confidence that empowers them in the management of their wealth. And we've shifted that a little bit, right? Where we see our mission, which is what we aim to do for you, our clients, is first and foremost to help you make wise decisions, right? It's to help you connect your life's work, whether you're retired and now living off of your life savings, whether you're building a business still or you're starting a professional career. It's to help you connect your life's work to the things that matter most to you, right? Our promise is to consistently deliver the future of financial advice, meaning we're not going to, as a firm, get stuck in an old, outdated method. And the world is moving so fast and technology is moving so fast that we think it's extremely important for you, our client, to know that our promise is we're always going to be trying to deliver the future of advice for you. Some of the experience stuff is going to be changing. So with the technology that we're building, with the Aimvest acquisition, right, we want to have smart investment strategies, meaning we're using quantitative approach to investment selection, right? We're doing that in a way that's replicatable, that's rigorous, that's scalable. But at the same time, we're also still adding the human element and the wisdom to it, right? So it's not just a machine running our investment strategies. It's actually the combination of taking really, really solid and rigorous approaches to using machines and computers where we can to automate stuff, but then adding a human element to it to still make final decisions. And we want to pair that with really great financial planning experience, which is what we're building in our software right now, alongside of our family strategic planning system, which is the tools that we use for helping you, our clients, manage your life's work and connect that to what matters most to you. Just a fun one coming up so you can see some of the things that are in the hopper coming with the Lifeworks brand. Hopefully coffee mugs coming soon. And what you see on what's my right side would be your left side of the screen is a snapshot of the future design for our mobile application. And so I'll be talking a little bit more about that here, but just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek into what some of the brand elements, the colors, the logo change that you're going to be seeing. So as our website shifts and the other things that you see from us start to shift, you understand what's coming. All right, so let's talk a little about Lifeworks' future vision. So this is our Lifeworks 2024 vision, something that Kurt and I have done now for over a decade with our coach and mentor, and part of what we do with our clients is to have a written vision, but just have a really clear picture as to where we're going. And many firms might not share this with their clients, but we really felt passionate about making sure that you guys have a clear sense of what we're building towards and what we're trying to do. So first and foremost, everything we're trying to do is to have the most relevant and valuable client experience in the wealth management industry, right? We're doing that because we believe that that should be our primary focus, is serving our clients. And what it'll also do is it'll empower our existing advisors who are here and then the advisors who are joining our platform to be better at what they do for their clients as well. Second key piece in there is that we're going to be the first investment platform that truly connects a client's financial plan and their financial data in a dynamic way with a custom investment portfolio. So in our software application that we're building now, one of the features that'll be released next quarter is the ability to aggregate accounts, like pull in your checking account, pull in your 401k, pull in information from other financial firms. We'll be able to take all of that information, like seeing through to what's in your 401k, for instance, plus your financial plan, your goals, objectives, vision, and we'll be able to use that in real time to build a custom investment strategy for you, the client. Right now in the industry, what exists is what we call static investment portfolios, right? Where you do a risk tolerance questionnaire, and this is not how we do it, but this is what the industry does, right? You do a risk tolerance questionnaire, fill out some kind of form, and the advisor of the firm says, here's your portfolio, right? And maybe it's 60% equities and 40% bonds. And that's what it is. It doesn't adjust to changes that have happened in your financial plan automatically. It doesn't adjust to things that happened inside of your 401k plan. It doesn't adjust to life's events. It's a static investment strategy. We want to completely move away from that and have your investment portfolios here at Lifeworks be adjusted dynamically as your financial plan changes. So that's a really big piece of our 2024 vision. And it's going to take us a little while to fully get there, but over the course of this year, we're laying the foundation to be able to do that for our clients. Our software application is also going to be fully developed to include all aspects of wealth management for our clients and our advisors. So budgeting, cash flow, financial planning, communications, money management and account opening, trading. There's a lot of functionality that's being built in the application now, but the vision again is to have a complete system where all of your money management and financial planning and values and vision, your family strategic planning stuff is happening in one seamless native mobile application. In fact, I told our board of directors the other day that my goal is to get where we can run, whether it's the client or the advisor, we can manage all of our money and all of our finances from our mobile phone, right? It's a little bit of a tall order, but that's what we're working towards. We're also working right now on strategic partnerships with other industry firms. So probably the first one that's going to get announced is a partnership with a company that provides estate planning documents nationally for clients. So it's a really cool platform we've been testing. We're going to start working on that integration where we'd be able to review, design, and create estate plans for our clients in partnership with law firms and attorneys all over the country in a seamless digital application. So stay tuned for that one. That one's really cool. But other things too, like connecting banking and tax planning and stuff like that to our software application so that it's more seamless for you, the client is there. And then here's the big one that I think is just one I want to make sure this isn't taking priority over our client work, but it is part of our growth strategy. Is by the end of 2024, we want to have 500 advisors on the Lifeworks platform. And that doesn't mean that our service commitment to you or our promise to you is going to change. What it means is that we believe we've built some things that are really, really unique and really innovative and really valuable for our clients. And our best way of reaching more clients in a holistic way is to bring advisors into Lifeworks so that they can offer these tools to their clients. So that's one of our big, key vision pieces for 2024. The family strategic planning system is going to be going through some changes. So if you've been a client for a while, you've probably used some of our workbooks, you've used some of our Google documents, and those tools are all great and they're staying there, but they're also going to get digitized and put into our software application and into our mobile application so that whether it's creating your family vision and value statement for the first time or reviewing it or editing it, you'll be able to do that through our software application as opposed to kind of more of manual process and document creation with your advisor. Really excited about that. Our Lifeworks retirement income system, I'm just going to hit on this one really quick. This one as well is going to transition into a tool inside of our application. So for those of you that are near retirement or close to retirement, you've seen this. If someone's watching that's in my age demographic, 39 or younger, we're not probably talking necessarily about structuring your investment portfolio to create retirement incomes. This doesn't maybe apply to you. But for those of you that have our Lifeworks retirement income system, we've heard you loud and clear. You want to be able to see the breakdown of how much is allocated to the different tranches and how your retirement income system is set up. That's getting built into the software and it's going to be digitized by the end of the year. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, some of our investment strategies. I just want to talk about a couple of these real quick. Our protected portfolio, which is something very unique to us. That's the hedged equity strategy that we have. So clients can own individual U.S. large cap stocks, and then we're hedging those to make sure that when March of 2020 happens again, right, that there's a floor on their investment portfolio, right? This is a lot of work for our team, but it's something that we believe is a very, very valuable thing to have for our clients for their investment strategies. That's not going anywhere. Our core equity portfolio is going to be getting some updates. Some of the work that Alex and Hugo are doing with Derek and the investment team is to modernize that a little bit. We'll be adding some holdings and making some changes. We also launched at the end of 2020 our growth strategy. So we also heard the feedback from our clients as well that said, your protected portfolio is great, your core equity is great, but do you have a strategy for, maybe a higher growth type of investment strategy? Just know we've been working on that one for a while, but because we believe in being rigorous and thoughtful about how we are building investment strategies for clients, we didn't just jump into something and say, hey, here's 50 stocks and go from there. So it took us most of 2020 and a little bit more time than that to really think about how we wanted to approach this and what it means, right? And so for us, we're looking at things that are going to have an exponential impact on the future of how people work, how they consume goods and services, the technology that they use to interact with it. And those are some of the key things that we're actually using as filters when we're looking at what types of investments are we going to want to have in our growth portfolio, our growth strategy. One of the most exciting things of the many we're talking about, the work that the Aimvest Technology team is doing inside of Lifeworks right now is to bring what's known as a smart beta investment strategy, which is essentially using a quantitative or a systematic approach to investments to look at some key factors. So value, momentum, low volatility, company size, and we're using those to filter down the world of possible investments into a select group of stocks or equities. And then we're filtering again from there under some other things to create portfolios for our clients. This one is coming in Q2. That one's going to be exciting. And then the goal hedging portfolio is a dynamically created portfolio for every client and for each and every one of their specific financial goals that's designed to achieve the target outcome while maintaining a floor and reducing risk. Meaning when I say floor, like somebody's goal is to have $1 million in 10 years for some financial objective, we might set the floor at $800,000, meaning the range between 800 and $1 million is an acceptable outcome, but we don't ever want it to go below 800,000. So this is also technology that the Aimvest guys had already built. This is what they had launched their company with. And it's a dynamically managed portfolio to reduce the risk inside of your investment strategy that you're not going to achieve the objective. We'll be talking a lot about this in the next couple of months and throughout this year as we integrate that into our investment strategies. All right, real quick pass here. I want to make sure I'm good on time. Yep, good on time. Some of the key things that are coming in the software, one of the ones we've been patiently waiting on, and you have as well, is performance reporting, time-weighted returns. That feature in the software is essentially done. It's going through its final testing, and we expect that it's going to be released by the end of Q1. So you'll be able to go in and see your time-weighted rate of return for your whole household, for your entire portfolio, individual accounts, individual holdings, and then we've got some additional features coming that will let you see like what the rate of return was for each specific strategy that your investments are in. The strategy returns won't be coming until probably Q3, but the total portfolio return, the individual accounts and individual holdings will be released at the end of Q1 here. We'll also be releasing our first native mobile app. So whether you're an Android user or a Apple iPhone user, you'll be able to download our app, which will make it even easier for you to check your balances, communicate with us, transfer funds, change your billing, things like that. All the functionality for our software that you can use on your desktop, your laptop, your PC is being built into the application. So it'll be nice. I've been playing with it for the last week, doing testing, pull it up, look at it, facial recognition. I can see all my accounts and start interacting with stuff that way. That's really exciting. In Q2, they start building some of our financial planning tools. So budgeting, account aggregation, asset projections, cash flow projections. Those are all planned to be built in Q2 and then released at the end of Q2. And then Q3 is documents. So you'll be able to upload everything, store it in an encrypted and safe way. The Lifeworks retirement income system views. Second version of our mobile application, which has some of the new designs to it. The investment strategies I was just talking about in terms of the scientific beta and the goal hedging, those are both scheduled to be released into our software application in Q3 of this year. So For those of you that want just a quick sneak peek, this is what the mobile application looks like now. Actually, have it right here on my phone, can play with it. Just pulling it up right here. So we will be sending out announcements as we get closer to the end of the month and as it gets officially released. Really simple. You'll be able to download it from Google, the Play Store, or from the Apple Store and load it up on your device. And as always, our team's here to help if you have any issues, questions, things like that. I see a couple of questions, one of them about do we guarantee the floor. I'll come back to the questions about our investment strategy at the end of this. It's a great question. There's another question out there about will our software interface with Quicken? Yes, it will, but not till the end of Q3. I'll maybe talk in detail about that right as I wrap up the presentation here in just another couple of slides. All right, so in 2021, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. We've got some really awesome things, right? Continuing the podcast, continuing the client events, the educational webinars. The software team is working overtime, so is the design team, to continue to add features and functionality to the applications. What are some of the things that we're going to need? Well, I'm going to skip the top bullet here in the second one. If you know of people, they don't have to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They can be anywhere in the United States, but we have multiple opportunities for lead financial advisors, which are financial advisors that have 5+ years of experience, that are looking to be part of a dynamic team that's growing, that also want to work as a fiduciary, a true fiduciary for their clients. We have multiple open spots there. We also are hiring some additional software engineers. And then this summer, we're going to be taking on our first internship program. So if you know of somebody, a friend of yours that has a kid in college, or your kid or grandkid or something like that, we're going to have multiple internship opportunities throughout the summer as well for people that are interested in financial advising, investment strategies, and graphic design. The other piece too that's up here is we plan to start offering our platform to other advisors and bringing new advisors into our system starting in Q2 of this year. So that's some of the stuff that's coming, and really excited about that as well. All right, that was it. That's some of the big stuff we have coming and some of the things we wrapped up in 2020. I'll take a few questions here now. So let's go. I'll take the first one from Brent, which is, do we guarantee the floor? So Skylar, take me back to the investment strategy slides a second and get those queued up, and I'll have you then share the screen. So there's two different investment strategies that both have downside protection, and they're unique. Yep, that's this one right there. Can you throw that one up for me? Awesome. Okay, so go back one. So the protected portfolio, Brent, to answer your question, is a one-to-one hedging strategy. So we're buying a U.S. large cap equity, let's say, Walmart, right? And then instantaneous at the same time, we're going and buying a long put contract, which does guarantee the floor, okay? So if we bought the stock at $100, we're gonna go try and buy that put contract, that option contract at say like a $90 strike price, so that we're capping our maximum downside at 10%. So the protected portfolio has a guaranteed floor to it, okay? The jump forward one slide for me, the goal hedging portfolio, which is the dynamically managed portfolio to a specific goal, that one doesn't have a guaranteed floor, but what it does is we're trading that one using a quantitative and systematic approach with the design of reducing our exposure to risk when there's market volatility and turbulence, and then increasing our exposure to risk assets, equities, et cetera, when appropriately. So that one, I would say, has a soft floor. Theoretically, it could fall below the target, but if we're managing that one well, it wouldn't. So we're building out both because we recognize the importance of having a guaranteed downside and also having a more dynamically constructed portfolio that potentially has more upside to it, and isn't reliant on us having to go to the market every year and buy put options. So great question. I hope that answered it in detail. Tony, will your software interface with Quicken? Yeah, so part of the tools that are being built right now is to interface with a software provider called Yodely, and they do account aggregation and connection to most of the largest financial institutions and software platforms out there. So if you're using Quicken now for budgeting and tracking expenses and things like that, our software will be doing most of that work with probably similar types of tools, not exactly the same, because Quicken, I would say, is going to be more robust on the accounting and tax prep side and things like that. But there is a plan down the road to have an integration with like Quicken TurboTax, specifically for completing tax returns for our clients. But that's probably, down the road at least a year yet. So good question. All right. Any additional questions about what's going on at Lifeworks, what we're working on, investment strategies? I'm going to hang out here and wait, and give people opportunity to throw questions or comments up. Great question. So I've got a question from Peter. Can you expand on the planned relationships with CPAs, estate planning, etc.? Absolutely. So let me give you what our vision is for what we want to accomplish for our clients, and I'll tell you where we're at today so you can understand the kind of the gap that we have to travel. I'll pick on estate planning first because it's the most difficult one to solve for. So inside of our family strategic planning system, one of the areas of planning that we do for our clients is around helping them make sure that they have the right estate plan design. Estate planning still needs to be done by a licensed, competent, professional attorney, right? And licensing for attorneys happens at the state level, right? So one of the challenges that Lifeworks has ran into the last couple of years is, as we have clients all over the country, and we're using our family strategic planning system to build the strategy around what our clients want and need for their estate plan, we've had to go to, on what we call attorney hunts inside of that state or inside of that city for the client, and it's pretty cumbersome and laborious. The partner that we're working with right now has created a software infrastructure that connects attorneys. They're not in all 50 states, but that's their plan over the next year and a half. They have a really beautiful interface that we'll be able to take our clients' data from our application and interface with theirs so that we can speed up the process of what we call discovery, which is just getting all the data into a system to look at how an estate plan should be designed. And they're already partnered with attorneys all over the country that are experts in just this estate and probate administration. So that system allows us to help design the estate plan in conjunction with you and with the attorney, and then push a button essentially and have the attorney create the documents. They're already licensed in the state. We're working on a similar relationship right now with CPA firms. The nicer part about the CPA firms is they're licensed at a national level for the most part, and so it's a little bit easier for us to partner with a CPA firm that's in one central location and have their CPAs working with our clients all over the country. But we have some additional news. I'll probably be sharing it at the end of Q2 about some strategic relationships with some of the CPAs that we work with regularly now that will be expanding our service offerings for our clients. So tax prep and filing for our clients, integrated tax planning with their CPA in a more seamless way. So all of the software design is, part of the software design is to essentially getting all that data into one spot and making the visibility of it such so that it's really, really seamless for us to do tax planning, estate planning, and some of these other key financial planning services. Great question, Peter. All right, question from Lex. Lex, I hope you're doing well. Why does my protected portfolio have calls as well as puts? Okay, so when we buy the individual equity, right, and I'm just going to say we use $100 as an example. So we go and buy an equity for $100 price today, right, per share. We then go out there to market and we're buying the put, right? So I'm buying it, I own the put, and the purpose is to create that floor. Our target in the protected portfolio is to have our floor at 10% below the entry price for you, the client, right? So 10% below the $100 mark. Buying a put, right, or allocating assets to the acquisition of a put, well, it takes up some of the portfolio dollars, right? And so if we buy the equity and buy the put, right, what we're doing then to give us more cash available is we're selling a call, right? And because we've sold the call, that actually creates premium dollars, and we're using that to expand the amount of downside protection that we could buy, right? So in a highly volatile market like we've seen the last couple of years, downside protection and safety comes at a higher price tag than upside, right? So we've had clients ask, and we've looked at this a lot, should we be still selling calls to create the cash to use to buy our downside protection? Our feeling is right now, our sense is yes. So essentially we buy the stock, we buy the put, which creates the floor, and then we sell a call that's somewhere between 10 and 15% above that stock price. And that kind of creates a ceiling. So we have a floor and we have a ceiling in there, but the ceiling is generally, again, 10 to 15% above the current stock price. So our trade-off is we're getting more downside protection, right? We're reducing more of the volatility, but we are capping the upside, right? So in investments and in finance, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So we can't have, the maximum amount of downside protection and completely unlimited upside, right? That kind of free lunch doesn't exist. So we're selling the calls to create the cash to be able to buy more downside protection because we think that's the right thing in today's environment to be doing for our clients. As the market evolves, we'll be flexible to evolve that strategy too. So there could be a point in time where our protected portfolio isn't selling calls to create the cash to buy more downside protection. Great question. All right, I hope everybody's been enjoying this presentation. I've really loved getting to share some of the things that our team's worked on, some of our big accomplishments, some of the stuff that's coming. I've got more time left on the clock here. We have this scheduled to go to 12:30. So if you have to jump off and you've got other stuff to do on this beautiful Friday, I hope you have an awesome weekend. I hope you stay safe and just have a wonderful weekend with your family. My name is Ron Bullis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Lifeworks Advisors, for those of you that haven't had the chance to meet. So if you have to jump off, thanks for being here. If not, I'm going to stick around for another 5-10 minutes and answer some more questions as they come up. You're welcome, Lex. All right. I don't see any more questions coming through. So I'm going to sign off one more time here. Wish you an absolutely wonderful Friday. Just grateful to have you and your family as clients, and we really love the work that we get to do serving you. And let us know if you have any questions. If you ever want to know more about what's going on at Lifeworks, the stuff behind the scenes, whether it's on the design side or the software side or even the investment strategy side, don't hesitate to reach out through your advisor or ping us on our website. We'd love to get on a video call and share more details of what we're doing. All right, had one quick question pop up. Will you be able to provide videos of your webinars? Absolutely. So all of our webinars, including this one, will wind up on our YouTube channel, which you can find by going to YouTube and searching Lifeworks Advisors and the Future of Advice. So yes, and everybody that wants a copy of the slides or things like that, just reach out to us through, you can even use this chat window if you want, plug your email address in there, and we'll be happy to make sure you get a link to the presentation and the slides. John, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. Lex, upcoming webinars. Yes, stay tuned. They'll be posted on our website. We'll also be shooting out an email early next week with some of the upcoming webinars. A few of them that are already queued up are what's quantitative investing. I know we've got one coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks around digital assets. So think cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like that. Are they good, bad? What are they? Are we going to be allocating dollars to them? Things like that. We'll have one on tax planning. I know that's one I'm working on with a few other people on the team. So just stay tuned. We'll be sending those out here, next week with some dates for probably 2 or 3 more weeks worth of webinars. And please give us your feedback as well. We try and do these on Friday, around the lunch hour to maximize the opportunity for people to go watch them. But if you'd like to see us do an evening live event, if that might be more, easy for your schedule or something, let us know, and we'll try and put that together too. So, yeah, we'll post a link to the YouTube webinars. We got you there. Good question. You're welcome, Brent. Glad to have you on the webinar today. All right, everybody. Again, Ron Bullis here with Lifeworks. Really grateful to have the opportunity to share some of the stuff that's going on with our firm and what's coming this year. Really excited about it. I hope you have an awesome Friday. God bless, stay safe and healthy, and we look forward to having you on another one of our Lifeworks live events soon. Take care.